map. I think I just ruined myself completely. So we're on with the first map of Sarnoff now, and straight away, Rapha's going straight in, trying to pick up as much damage as he can, and he was going to eventually pick up, but it looks like another member of Team Liquid does pick him off, so that was GaRpY, I think it was.
Absolutely. Well, we look like we're getting in the Galena visor. This is the first time today we've seen Galena visor getting used, and it's in the final series, the grand final of the North American 2v2 Go4Quake champions.
And you can see now he's trying to back off. It's not much HP match stack in the moment, but you can see Rapha is trying to pick him up from that rocket side, trying to abuse that piercing sight, but only gets one railway out of it. And it seems like now he's trying to catch him off guard, just trying to do anything he can just to make sure to suffocate him around that rocket area. And you can see now at the moment, Rapha's keeping tabs on things to make sure they don't get away in any shape or form. And you've got that heavy come up in the next second.
Oh, picked up by Dooi. DaHanG does get one. Rapha and Dooi not going to close out that fight on this occasion. Let's go head over to some of the Myztro boys. GaRpY not looking quite as worse for wear as Dooi, and he gets himself a rail off. Now he's got piercing sight. He knows where to put on the pressure to DaHanG. Good start of the LG, and another rail afterwards. Very, very well done from GaRpY. And we've got another rotation out of items just before we get over to the quad, so they're really going to want to lock down this heavy armor. He's on 3 points of health. Dooi does get hold of this. If I were GaRpY now, I would probably even look at just sacrificing himself.
GaRpY always seems to be like one of those players where he always meant to get away at the right moment at the right time on such low HP. He does it in duels so much, and it follows suit in twos as well. And as you talked about before, that quad is coming up. Dooi managed to get the trade, but sadly does not get Rapha, and Rapha's now, it's got a nice stack behind him, going around looking for the rest of Maestro with that quad.
Well, heavy's been taken already. There's one of the players down here from Maestro. Can't quite get the rail off on GaRpY, hoping that DaHanG takes care of Dooi, but he actually got away. They never fragged him. How's he alive? He spotted him now. As like, there's no chance, mate. There's no chance? There's no chance. Confirmed.
Confirmed 100%. Dooi did try and get away of that one. Rapha was hoping to get a rail off, but GaRpY managed to get away from that. And the series is looking quite close, considering Liquid actually were the ones with the quad, and they're still falling behind. But this great teamwork by GaRpY in the moment, as well as Dooi just backing off from every situation, doing his best he can to do that bait and switch. So well played by him.
Yeah, it's not a tremendously fast pace, but they're playing for the items quite aggressively, which is where the majority of the action is happening at the moment. GaRpY again finding himself weak, but he's really every single like a lot of I say European players. He is a European player, but he's now in NA scene and he can't avoid it anymore. But a lot of European players, they keep going for trades. You know, they don't slow down if they've got low stack. They just go in and make sure you keep getting the trade frags of the opponents. And he's very much trying to make sure, cherish each of your lives. Don't give away points unnecessarily. And play that slow. Play each of your life as if it's your last almost.
That's exactly what you should be doing. And at the moment, you can see Dooi does manage to get that mega, cleans up Rapha. And that potential will be coming next 30 seconds, but both teams will be trying to get that heavy, or at least maybe try and contest it, but I'm not sure if Liquid are actually going to try and do that. I think they may just leave it, let them have the heavy, and get ready for that next protection.
This is big from Dooi. Trying that good rocket from below. He's even got a rocket jump up, who gets a bit of extra damage. He's found a DaHanG on the sideline. There's a small mid-air. He's going to try and make it away, takes down another totem. He's got himself a rocket pack. GaRpY is going to get Rapha. And they're going to get themselves protection. This is that was such a good string of plays there in the last 20 seconds from Maestro.
The entire 4 minutes, Maestro have been playing so well and out of their minds. They've been baiting, switching really well. The planned attacks have been great. The fact that they've been quite calm and collective about it, I love to see. Now, I'm worried about what would be on a smaller map, but it seems like Sarnoff is really in their favour now. I can't see why they chose this map first.
They've done so much damage to Rapha. They're going to be able to take down DaHanG. Rapha is below. They're going to find him. They can see the rings of all the totems. It's like, yeah, I'm going to get rid of those. To me, that's most important right now. Don't have those triple totem resources. And during that point, Dooi just gets himself a casual double kill.
As you do.
Oh my God, DaHanG got the gauntlet to machine gun frag. The ever so expected one. Ooh, little midi from Rapha.
It's like DaHanG now, he's trying to get some damage done before he does get taken out, but he managed to get a little bit done, not a lot, but potentially enough. Rapha will be going in to see if he can get any cleanups going, but Dooi, I was just about to say, just manages to survive, but gets barely taken out now. And we've got that heavy coming up next 3 seconds. GaRpY was going to go straight for it, but Rapha's already there to take it.
Control might be swinging a little bit now in the favor of Team Liquid. This pickup for Rapha is pretty massive. He gets a great rocket. He's up in a 1 versus 2 at the moment, but his positioning has been excellent, and he just locks them down. That was flawless from Rapha. And now with 30 seconds to the power up, he's probably going to think about this heavy rotation first. And look at that over the side of the map. DaHanG gets himself a casual 1 versus 2. And I think that's 4 frags in a row they've got without losing anything.
DaHanG's like, well, Rapha, if you're going to get 2, I'm going to get 2 of my own. And as you can see now, there could be a lot more of that happening with that quad coming up next 10 seconds. Maestro already there. Yeah, they need to get there as we speak. And then talking to Speaker Devil, they're both there right now, trying to sandwich him anyway, come from different angles. DaHanG does a lot of damage. He's trying to get a turn down, get some health back during this fight. GaRpY's trying to do his best to stay alive, but both players from Maestro do get taken out. Rapha gets the Mega.
Oh my god.
And he's got a quad to complement it as well. So, looking a bit pear-shaped now, my friend.
That's, oh, hang on a sec. I think that's 10 frags in a row unreturned. It might even be more, actually. It might even be like
11.
No, I think it's like 13, maybe.
Oh, really?
Wasn't it like 16 for 12 before? Or maybe even 16 for 11 for Myztro? They haven't had a frag in ages.
Yeah, I wonder what's actually been kind of stopping from actually fragging as much as they did in the first 4 or 5 minutes of this game. We'll have to keep an eye on them strategically and just see exactly how things have been changing up.
I think Rapha and DaHanG just haven't been dropping the ball on items for, I don't know, a good 3-4 plus rotations. And they're just doing everything. They've got so many resources to work with. We saw the 1 versus 2s that both Rapha, well, and we didn't get to see DaHanG's, but we saw the outcome on the board. And look at how low both of the Myztro players are. We can see their health in front of us on the X-ray.
That does make a lot of sense because it seemed like Maestro was still barely killing the members of Liquid, even with nice stacks. And now that it's in the other hands of Liquid, they're just absolutely abusing the fact that they have such nice stacks or
they still
getting that last quad.
They still haven't gotten a kill. It's been, I'm pretty sure it's been 18 frags unreturned now.
And the fact that he's abusing these totems, getting his health back every single time
19.
with his triple resources now. And DaHanG's going to try and clean up. GaRpY does try and get away. He's got barely any HP left now. And he will just let him get away. That Mega will be up. I think one of them did
20.
take it. And yeah, so far, yeah, 20 unanswered kills. It's completely unheard of.
I think most teams just still get something back. GaRpY finally gets something back. Dooi, he can't quite make it. Let's have a look at scores at the moment. 15 for 18. I won't keep that up too long since we've still got action. We've got protection coming up. It is going to be Rapha that I think just took it. DaHanG incredibly low. But, that's heavy, actually. Just gone the way of Dooi, I believe. It's important. Can they keep that person alive till protection runs out?
Doesn't look like it at this stage. Rapha's going straight and knows exactly where they have that piercing sight. He's probably told DaHanG exactly where they're coming from. Managed to sandwich them both in one place, but GaRpY managed to get a frag anyway. Rapha does clean up Dooi. He knows exactly where GaRpY is. Just try and clean them up. Gets one, misses the second one, and looks like it's possible, but GaRpY may finish him off, and he does. And that Mega coming in the next 8 seconds, but seems like DaHanG managed to stop him from getting that heavy and get it for himself.
Oh, GaRpY's got the Mega health now. Oh, not bad from GaRpY. LG out, but he's just jumping across, and it's so easy for him to get taken out.
Don't you find it quite funny that Liquid, like, the pace of the game is so slow in content, and then when it gets to like the 5-minute mark, they just turn it into turbo mode and just go straight into overdrive and just go, well, you know what, I've had enough of playing a close game. We need to pretty much change this, and they just turn into something else, completely ridiculous. And again, Rapha with another 2 kills.
I'm wondering if it's just like, I mean, just down to the strategy they're playing, or it's really this kind of aura of respect that Rapha and DaHanG have developed over the years of, or period of dominance that they've had in the scene. It's just so hard to kind of keep your head in the game versus these guys because of the, as you say, the pressure that they put on. But they just don't seem to make mistakes as well, or you can't seem to exploit the mistakes they are making.
And I've noticed as well, and it seems to be the same as the last final compared to this one, they don't go hand in hand like most of the other teams. They go hand in hand in a way where they both flank. They always stay at least in a small amount of distance from each other, but flank as well as meet up at the same time. So they always try and do these planned attacks using both initiative at different scenarios. And when you've got two of the biggest duelists in the world, it must be so quick and easy for them to know exactly what each other are going to do and predict.
Oh god, no, he's found you, mate. You're probably not going to survive. Sorry, buddy. Oh, Dooi, okay. Oh, the totems! Is there another one there? Oh no, it's destroyed.
And it seems like now, he's still got the quad, but if you want to make anything happen in this map, he needs to do something now. But that quad is literally disappearing. 10 HP left, does back off. DaHanG does get rail on him, and Rapha does pick up GaRpY, so it's looking like it's plain sailing for the guys on Liquid.
Yeah, that power-up's going to run out. Rapha's stack is fair. He's landing rails here, there, and everywhere. Heavy's going to be up too. Just going to give that one over to Rapha, actually.
Oh, that's nice of him.
I'll check out DaHanG for a second. He gives away the heavy, but I think he's still going to get himself a 1 versus 2 here.
When you get to a point you're so stacked that you start giving heavies to your teammates, that's when you know things are going to go wrong for the opposing team.
You've got a luxury lifestyle there if you're getting so many free items.
Like 5-star stacks and stuff like that, you know, just enjoying life, mate. And yeah, 47-24 now, literally just been a story to tell, like so close to that first 4 minutes of the game and completely change of pace. As soon as the members of Liquid were getting stacked, and it seems like it's just a matter of time before Rapha and DaHanG close this game out.
I really felt that Maestro were the better team in the first 4 or 5 minutes.
Agreed.
They were playing so much nicer. I think they were playing very intelligently, but they just didn't have the stamina with that level. If they could kind of extend the amount of time that they can play at that level 4, then they would be such a force to be reckoned with. But it's as if we're watching, what was it, Liquid going versus Waz and Shane back in the semi-finals.
I wanted to say that, but I kept my mouth shut. But I'm glad you said it anyway, not just me. You were saying what everyone else is thinking pretty much.
With this being Maestro's pick, you know, I would possibly expect a little bit more otherwise, but you know, sometimes you just have a block, and it happens in these maps like that. Suddenly just Rapha and DaHanG pull out the goods, denying you frags for 20 of their own kills in a row. Like, what are you going to do about that? Rapha with a 27 for 15, brilliant from him. GaRpY and Dooi very similar, respectively. Yeah,
they both are quite similar just overall, and it was just a shame how... I think that's the story with most of these teams. It's purely just the stamina. It's fair enough competing with them for this first few minutes, but you got to remember, it's a 15-minute game, you know, and if you do get to a point where your consistency drops that much, it will finish within 10 just due to the fact that, you know, you're getting pressured too much, you know, the stacks become awful, you're not really timing the power-ups as well, not just timing them, but setting up for them as well. And that was just a good example how you could be drawing for him throughout the first 4 or 5 minutes, and literally, I can't remember what it was in the end, it was like 20 or 25 kills unanswered, or maybe about 21 or 22, where someone finally got killed at the Rockets.
Yeah.
That's saying a lot, considering they're playing against technically the second best NA team.
I feel like it's actually part of down to how teams, well, like duelers, when they play duel, they often memorize how the first minute or 2 plays out because they know how the item rotations are going to be and they know where to be. And it's kind of like, as long as you remember that sort of process and no one does anything super unexpected, you can play your game for those first minute or 2 minutes. I feel like that might be an equivalent in 2 versus 2 team deathmatch, because you know what you're doing with your teammate from the beginning, but then as soon as those timings are mixed up, or as soon as the team does something unexpected, then that's no longer rehearsed. You have to improvise that and adapt to that situation.
So would you say Liquid a great example of a team where they can adjust to other teams' play styles a lot quicker and a lot easier compared to others?
I mean, I think that's what a lot of people would tend to say now, is that they are the people who can adapt the best. They can adjust to any situation and they will re-strategize on the fly. We could hear it through their comms as well at DreamHack. They don't seem to get phased by it, and they can keep their focus while re-strategizing. It's pretty special.
What I love now is that we've got Liquid's map pick, and I think it was Blood Covenant, if I remember rightly from the top of my head.
Yes.
And funny enough, in that last series, they actually chose Corrupted Keep as their first pick, and they've done that purposely to make Maestro think that that's the map they enjoy most.
Well, I wonder if that's because Myztro banned Strog and Pika, and they think, well, actually, maybe we won't pick Corrupted Keep because that's our kind of like ace in the hole, you know, like the Strog on that map. But we have got map 2 begin here in the grand final between Myztro and Liquid. I want GaRpY off the beginning, and we're gonna stick with the Galena Visor. Based on those bans we saw previously, Dooi is going to spill first blood. GaRpY's looking for something on Rapha.
So I was going to say, with Liquid, as you know, it is their go-to champions with Fires and Galena. It's what they're known for. Stream it all the time, not surprised. And obviously with those 2 off-meta map picks they had earlier, it gives them a good reason to go back to what they're most comfortable with. And it might have been due to the fact that Maestro aren't fully, I wouldn't say capable, but like they're not adjusted to champions such as those 2, like in matchups. So maybe they need a bit more practice time and scrims to actually adjust to those. So it's fair enough they want to play against the champions, which they know anyway.
GaRpY giving that one for freeze. First spot, I want to go over to Dooi there because he was having quick encounter with Rapha. That is going to be winning that one though.
Dooi at the moment is trying to get a quick poke with the rail. Sadly, he does miss, but does get totem down in case they do come from Mega coming straight across. But he is going to catch Rapha off guard with that LG. Nice play by him so far. Quite weak still from his stack, but he will get some 50 HP from his totem. And at the moment, he was trying to help GaRpY with the objective spawn, but sadly wasn't able to help. DaHanG managed to capitalize, kill GaRpY. And so far, they want to make sure they get that heavy before the cook comes up in the next 20 seconds.
Oh my god, Dooi with that rail shot on the sideline. That means he's going to be able to get the heavy. He's got lots of weapons. He can get back up straight away. Rapha going to be suffering there. Some extra health bubbles. He doesn't put... I don't really like where he put the totem though, unfortunately. He could have put something at the exit. Yeah,
I was thinking the same. A bit unusual, but you did see that he lifted his cursor up to try and maybe aim it on the rocket spawn, but maybe that was a bit of an accident, but fantastic play by Rapha with his quad now, and he's literally just going on a tear, and he's going to possibly start slowly increasing his lead.
So he's going to spot one of them over there. Sees the drop down. He's like, yep, I'm going to chase you to the bitter end.
We're not going anywhere, mate.
Easy for Rapha. Is he going to be able to push a bit more? 5 seconds left. He hasn't really had piercing sight for much of the quad. He had it right at the beginning, but that was just for the initial sort of melee. Now it's over. He's still got a stack. Machine gun for the edge.
So as I say, it seems like now they are trying to get him off at Mega. It's not coming up for another 10 seconds anyway. Does manage to pin GaRpY as well, and I'm getting a bit worried now for the Maestro guys, because I'm hoping it's not a similar performance as before where they're constantly getting captured off guard, but Liquid, they always seem to have that height advantage. Again, look, another great example. Catch him on spawn, trying to get as much damage done as they can, and then chase him down straight afterwards. But fantastic play by Rapha, making sure that there's so much pressure again with that height advantage, making sure that there's no possible or physical way for them to at least try and get up top to capitalize.
Rapha goes around and collects himself the railgun at last. Knows that DaHanG is under pressure at the moment. He's going to try and land some shots as a 1-for-1 over there. But surely Rapha's going to be able to... Oh, he hits a decent rocket, and I think that totem might be gone too. He might even need some support soon, actually. Yeah, Dooi's got to dodge away from that.
Yeah, there's no surprise there at all. But Rapha's still going in, trying to at least distract him as much as possible, whilst DaHanG does get his stack back. And you can see now he is missing a couple of rail shots. He is allowed to.
No.
Not everyone's perfect.
He's mortal.
Yeah, he is mortal. People do make mistakes, but yeah, Rapha, come on, mate.
hit more rails, Rapha. There we go. He hits the hard ones, you know. He's got no problem with them. Oh, you go for the mid-air. Just.
Sometimes that can happen, though. Sometimes when it's like in a situation where it's very simple and easy, and then like they don't actually know you're there, you can miss him. You know, I think plenty of people have actually done that. Depends on what kind of momentum you're feeling.
Yeah. Well, DaHanG's playing it very safe. He's getting a lot of pop shots on the enemy, but he's always sticking with the right weapon choice at the right time. And I'm asking for mid-airs right now, but it's not actually the right move to make to go for them.
Next scene now again with that. Yeah, that's a fantastic move by DaHanG right then. Second power up in a row going in favour of Liquid, and it seems like now that score is increasing bit by bit. Every minute it's by at least 3 or 4 kills, that lead's increasing. Now we're DaHanG with that protection. But he does get railed off a little bit. Still maybe had enough to absorb one more rail, but he's backed off anyway. Trying to at least get some damage so that Rapha can capitalise.
DaHanG's telling Rapha exactly where they are. Where's Rapha gone? He's right behind him. Bridge side still. There we go. Pushing in a little bit. Hoping for some entry damage before they take too many risks. Dooi dies through the teleporter. And look at that. The Comet. They're just taking so much damage from all corners. Just everything that Liquid does is just so surgically precise.
It's illegal, isn't it?
Legal in five countries. Yeah, I mean, be careful, Liquid.
And again, it's just another story. Keeping them below at all times. Make sure you get as much damage done as possible. Keep them one away so at least they can 2v1 any situation. But even then, DaHanG just manages to back off. That's the great thing as well, is the fact that even though it just shows that sometimes it's not always about aim, DaHanG&Rapha have missed quite a lot of rail shots. But with their movement and how they're flanking from different parts of the map, they managed to keep them at bay.
Yeah, a couple of shots missed there, but we can't egg on them too much. Dooi, he had a good stack, but he's losing a lot of it. Finds a frag onto DaHanG. Rapha kills GaRpY. Dooi trying to refrag there for a moment, but no. I think Rapha, let's have a look what weapons he has, actually. He just ran out of LG and using Tribal to just try and finish the job desperately.
I love how at the time DaHanG was on 55 HP when he picked up the quad, and then like Rapha's on 15. I think he was going to suicide and then realised Rapha was on just as weak, so he was like, no, you can keep it, it's all right. I would love it, but you know, just continue how you're doing. But now, as I've said, it's gone from 55 HP, hugely stacked, and with that quad now, just to add sword to injury.
GaRpY just melts there as Rapha was over the other side of the Tribal. Machine gun to take down Dooi. Yep. He's not good for this world either. Quad is out, but DaHanG still picking up kills. They're 17 ahead at the moment.
And I spoke about it before as well in their last Blood Covenant game against WAM and Chain. It's the fact, Waz and Chain. It's the fact that with this map, they're so good with the power control. When I say the control, I mean like how they set things up, how they capitalize, what they do to at least not guarantee themselves, but give themselves a better opportunity compared to the opponents. And they've had the power 3 times in a row, and I'm not saying that's what's caused them the huge lead, but it's definitely benefited a lot more.
Well, they've definitely gained from it. And they've been gaining, I feel like they've all around been the better players, not just on the power-ups, but around them too. And you can see that their net's been building and building, kind of at each step. And they're always at the items at the right point. You gain so much from this heavy, and I feel like almost every time DaHanG or Rapha in some capacity is picking it up. And again, the way that they target opponents.
And even though they've got such a huge lead, they're delaying the heavy as much as possible, or Bayonet's making think they left it. You know, so many different things they're doing right now. And look at that, 35 to 17 and 18 kills they need to try and come back from. But yeah, Zoot, this ain't looking too good for the Maestro guys at the moment. Yeah,
I mean, I'd call Maestro this Dooi&GaRpY like that. Even though they came 3rd yesterday, I'd still call them the 2nd best team in North America right now.
Yeah, I'd say so.
But it just shows you the gap right now between Rapha, DaHanG, and anybody else. When you put them in a final stage, and you know, you're playing for the money, the bragging rights, then they're just not going to make mistakes. You've got to bring something very, very special.
And I'm not going to lie, as you know, GaRpY is playing from the UK and he is playing on this roster. And we've got to put into account that he does have a huge ping, like anyone would assume. And obviously there is a few not very good benefits in terms of like how the projectiles will come out late and some of the shots may not register all the time. But it still doesn't state the fact that this gap wouldn't still occur even if he had quite a low ping. The game would be a bit closer, but not super close as we've seen in previous games.
It's not stopped them doing very well in the past, but this just seems, just on this particular day, there's a special amount of focus between all the Liquid players.
And you can see now, GaRpY is going to try and go for the telly. Rapha's left DaHanG behind on his own, saying to him, well, you know what, if you can 1v2 him, that's fine. I'm having a heavy no matter, no matter what. Quad's not coming up for a long time yet, so for them to make any kind of comeback to Liquid now, I'd probably say it's getting to a point where it's now a miracle.
Yeah, for sure. You just keep the trades going, even if it's even if it's 2 for 1s in favor of Myztro, you're still going to get there a lot faster.
I mean, it's such an unstoppable force. The way they set up for the power-ups and their strategy to actually try and capitalize or at least trade 2 for 1 is brilliant. It's a great example of what you should be doing, especially in these 2s games. And no matter what tier opponents they have, the scoreline is always similar.
Oh my god, the extra damage that he's doing. GaRpY's not going to go through the teleporter again.
I don't blame him.
Just do not meet up with DaHanG. Avoid it where possible. That's some great tribal damage. Found the sweet spot once more. Quad going to be up in a moment. He finds another 90 damage. Dooi&GaRpY both go down, and Rapha, can he get a bit of a rampage going? LG, there's one. He might be able to find some hourglasses somewhere. He is going to go find... No, there's not spawned. Oh, they just did then, I think.
And quads with 4 kills remaining. It's not something you want, and I think they got that quad quite easily. Due to the fact that Dooi was trying to distract as much as possible, but sadly GaRpY just came just a little bit late. But he should have done it. Yeah, he's just taking a mick now, isn't he?
Rapha went for the quad rocket jump. That's how much stack and confidence he had. Unfortunately, he missed his jump, but didn't get up to the top level.
And it seems like now Rapha is trying to clean up, trying to pick off GaRpY. GaRpY just managed to get away. He's not really too far off. Hopefully this tribal will clean them up for Rapha. Managed to pick up the LG anyway. 48 to 21, and it looks like it's all doom and gloom for here for the Maestro guys on this second map.
Oh, Rapha again with the damage from above. It's so hard to hit him. Nail gun too. What is that? Beautiful plasma skin. Doing.
Now, yes, I was going to say Doi's trying to do the best he can to try and get from a bad situation out of a worse situation, but people can see from there, it's just a replica of the first game. Probably worse, actually.
I think it was a little bit worse. In fact, I mean, again, they get a good start, but that good start did not last as long as it did on Ruins, and it just quickly went the other way. Look, GaRpY struggled a lot there. 5 for 27 for him. Rapha and DaHanG, they're in another league right now.
Another level completely.
Can they get the clean sweep today and make everything look like just a breeze? It's impressive that they can do this, really. There's surely got to be... Someone in NA's got to be able to step up with someone else, create some secondary super team and do something about this, because how long NA can you tolerate this for?
I know.
You need to get some guys up there, build up that skill. But the thing is, when Rapha and DaHanG are working just as hard as everyone else who's trying to catch up with them, they're just continuing to getting better, you know?
This is it, yeah. Like, you know, it seems like, you know, they've made such a huge impact now, and they're so far away in terms of skill gap compared to everyone else. People are kind of questioning, well, what can we do in NA? Like, what do you have to do? Even GaRpY's come from UK to NA to at least try and help out Dooi in a way to try and make an impact. And you can see it's not really made too much difference. So that is the question, what can you do? Because right now, for Liquid, this is free money for them. Pretty much is, you know?
Let's not be around the bush on this one. But I think it's going to take some drive and determination for players to really try and catch up. They need to get that sort of experience. You've got so much experience for Rapha and DaHanG. If someone can start getting near that, I think these LAN events we're getting in Quake Champions is a great way for up-and-comers to start. There's going to be another generation at some point. In the EU, it's already manifesting itself with these younger players that are rising.
Crazy and all these players.
Wenger and so on and so forth. Like, there's some great talent bubbling away over in EU. I think there's some good talent in NA, but I don't think it's flourishing in quite the same way just yet. Only because DaHanG and Rapha are kind of making everyone else look bad.
Yeah, they are making it look bad, and that's a complete understatement to say the least, isn't it? And we do have a funny highlight reel, actually. I wouldn't say funny, but it's one of those things you just don't want to see. And it's actually Rapha when he got a fragged on 1 HP.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready for it.
I'm ready.
I'm just hoping right now, by the way, that... oh, here we go, actually.
Oh, I apologise. So we were going to actually go straight into that, but instead, you know, we'd rather go straight into game 3 anyway. Don't worry about that. And straight off the bat, we've got GaRpY with a decent stack.
This is very important for me right now, because I want to make sure I eat later. So, as much as I'm rooting for Myztro, come on, Liquid. Get this map as well.
Yeah, that's fine. That's no problem. And it's like, literally, it's got to that point where, yeah, it's not the best start you really want, is it?
And he's lost the weapon too. It was looking so good, GaRpY. His stack was nice. He's going to come out with dual wield. He's going to hit something. But unfortunately, it's immediately gone back the way of Liquid. That's a real slap in the face for GaRpY.
Yeah, especially when he had a decent stack as well. It's like, oh, I've got the advantage. Oh, no, I don't. In a quick of an instant. And it seems like now, DaHanG was trying to make something down. Wasn't in a good position anyway. Was trying to get a few rail picks and get some damage done, but sadly went to be. So, you know, Maestro with a lead at the moment. Doing okay so far, but the question is, how long will it actually last for?
Well, they definitely got a faster paced map at the moment. They know the hot spots on the map they have got to control. Rapha currently owning that with DaHanG. With 40 seconds to go, they got a chance for another rotation of the major items, and then see who picks up power up number 1.
And we are being, it's quite a patient game. It was quite fast paced. We're looking at different ways in which they're trying to collapse him, but it's kind of slowed again now. It's been quite calm and collected. But as I'm saying that, on a players just push Rapha straight away. GaRpY does get a kill on DaHanG, and it seems like Rapha It's gone from no stack to full stack straight off the bat and managed to finish off Dooi. And there's that quad going up the next 10 seconds, though.
Ooh. DaHanG does manage to take him down. DaHanG goes for the suicide, actually. Maybe a tactical suicide just then. Oh, Rapha gets the mutual frag. DaHanG back in the action. 1 second left. Goes for a rocket. Can he mutual frag it out? Oh, Dooi is there in time, and he gets himself a double kill. So we're keeping it close here in the first 2 minutes.
And I feel that they shouldn't stick together in this instance. Even though it's like tied up, they need as much of an advantage as possible. And he's always doing a great start, getting a nice frag with a rail on Rapha. So he needs to keep up the tempo, try and find as much as he can, and Doi's doing exactly that at the moment.
I think he's going to try and push a choke point in a second. Yep, he wants to get something. Does put the totem out. Great damage. GaRpY's also chased up on it, so Myztro are going to take the lead for the moment.
I think that was quite a good quad damage. To be fair, you know, I don't think he could have done a little bit better, but
oh my God, GaRpY
couldn't get any more abuse as he can. And Rapha, right now, knows that GaRpY did manage to get away after that. And Dooi will be going for that next heavy. They managed to contest against the two Liquid guys, but right now they managed to pick him off anyway. So Dooi gets taken out, and GaRpY gets cleaned up as well by DaHanG.
Shame that GaRpY wasn't there to support, because Dooi did so much damage to both Rapha and DaHanG. But either way, I'll stick with GaRpY, who's got his dual wield back. Mega will be up next, so if they can take this, there's going to be a little bit of damage from below, it looks like. You see the rail there, just poking past, and it does hit him in the end.
Such a shame, considering the decent stack he had. But GaRpY does manage to take it down. Trying to get Rapha as well on top of that, but see you later, mate. You will not be coming back. And it looks like now quite a good spot for Maestro so far. But again, it's the next question is, how long will it last for? Will it even take a map off Liquid? Or can they at least keep up with this lead and maybe have a chance of increasing it? It looks like no, they're going to close that gap again by Liquid.
Oh, there's Mega up now. Oh, DaHanG, he just lands on the Mega in time, but that's just a resource denial. We're still seeing Myztro playing a good game. If they could start holding it towards the 10-minute mark plus, keeping it really tight. And it's not out of this world that they can take a map. We've seen it happen before, but I just feel like the first two maps haven't set the good precedence for us to expect it.
It's quite rare that we see them lose a map now. It's like, I don't know how I'd react to it if I did at this point. But at the moment, Maestro are still doing a very fantastic job at the moment. Trying to make sure that Liquid don't close out that gap and doing everything they can. And obviously with GaRpY with that protection still, maybe getting another frag or two just before it runs out. But he is trying to stop him getting from that heavy, but one of the guys from Liquid does manage to get it in the end.
They've given up both the Mega Health and the Heavy to Liquid. They haven't pushed to try and get rid of that damage. Let's have a look at the stacks of... that's a lot of LG right there. It looks like Rapha did go down in the end, but DaHanG's rocking a decent stack. Dual wield on dual wield. BJ always wins.
Of course, every single time without fail, but eventually Dooi does take out DaHanG, and GaRpY isn't too far behind him, but it looks like Mez and Liquid do manage to get that next heavy. They've had quite a few of these heavies in a row so far, and DaHanG does clean up Dooi, but GaRpY's just going to wait patiently because he knows they will be head on his heels, but again, they're trapping Dooi again on spawn, so it's just really unfortunate.
Doi's holding up okay for himself right now. Again, they've dropped Mega. And they found the pressure. They can't land a rail. Rocket's good. LG from GaRpY also finds the kill onto DaHanG. There is a totem down, but GaRpY can't quite get the healing as well as the armor there. At least he denied it, though. They still have a lead, and we're leading up to the third power-up now. Still hope for Maestro.
And have Maestro taken the last two, or have Liquid actually taken one for themselves? I can't actually remember from the top of my head.
So it was a protection, I think, taken by Liquid, I believe.
I think the last protection was taken by GaRpY, but over the first quad, I was trying to remember from the top of my head. But anyways, that quad is literally coming up in the next 10 seconds. And as you can see, Liquid doing a fantastic spot for it at the moment. But even though Rapha did manage to get it heavy, managed to bounce back up as well. But I think Dooi is going to leave him, let him have that quad, and see if they can at least try and delay the inevitable.
Some good damage. Ooh. Okay, there's a totem that's taken out. Dooi gets something, and I think GaRpY's the one to pick it up in the end.
I think he was just waiting to see if anyone would actually come towards him, which no one has. And it seems like GaRpY is on a search and destroy mission to at least try and make use of his quad, but he finds it, but sadly doesn't actually get anything done. But he managed to get one kill at least from it, so he's done something with it. And he's struggling a little bit, but to be fair, it's like I said before, even though this map's quite small, there's so many closed areas, it's really hard to actually make anything happen with a quad, especially with a low stack.
Rapha hitting a couple of decent rails in a row. And they do that just before the Mega spawns, so they just cleared out their zone. And now Liquid have taken the lead. Is this something that's going to last? Not yet. We've just had a 2-for-0 there for Myztro.
And Dooi managed to pick that heavy as well. So decent stack for Dooi at the moment. And DaHanG&Rapha is trying to find exactly where we are, but I think a little bit closer to know where we are. Finally, if they find one of them. And it seems like now Dooi is going to try and chase him down, see if they catch him up on the left, which he does. And maybe a 2-for-0 trade if he gets it right, and he does. So
wow,
this is fantastic by Maestro. Completely different from what we've seen in these first 2 maps.
They've already exceeded the amount of frags, so they got on either the first or the second. So, you know, props to them. Dooi, why did he let go of Lightning Gun? He still had loads of ammunition for that weapon. That was peculiar. I think he would have been just fine, but the delay and the damage was so long. Either way, the last 2 frags have gone the way of Maestro. They've broken the 30 barrier, and Liquid are trailing.
And this protection is so important for Liquid now. And with DaHanG&Rapha getting that Mega, it can easily just push in, but it's getting spammed all over the place. Can't actually even get near to the protection. You may actually have to give it up at this rate, considering there's only a second left, but they're both so weak. Takes out anyway, but that's a great play by DaHanG. You know what? If I can't have it, no one will.
Exactly. He was so weak, there was no way for him to assume he was going to be able to keep it safely. We've still got a 5 frag advantage, though. Make it 6, make it 7, I think, now for Maestro.
Is DaHanG and playing as Maestro this game? Makes you wonder sometimes, but maybe this is a good map choice, because I think if I remember rightly, Maestro did actually choose Awoku. It could be mistaken, but I need to double check. But yeah, that's right. And it seems like now, perfect timing. Now, next heavy coming up, and in a good state of mind at the moment. They just got to keep up the momentum, make sure they keep track on Liquid's positioning.
This is looking very good for them, and very bad for me with no food for a while, so.
They heard you say that.
Yeah. Whoa, there was a lot of rocket damage just then. DaHanG's the one who comes out as a bigger guy at the end. Let's see, they've got a chance to bring this back, and that made them feel even better. Get that full clean sweep going, win the final like that. Thank you, please.
And I think this DaHanG, oh my god, that LG by DaHanG, Ren, and I think right now, this quad is going to be a massive, this could be the turning point to who actually wins this map. I'm not too sure if we're going for another few minutes, considering how fast-paced these actions actually become compared to how it was the first few minutes, but eventually in the next 35 seconds, we'll be getting set up ready for the next quad, and especially now that the kill deficit now is going to go down to 5.
Can't quite get the rocket in the air. He does kill Dooi. Gets rid of the totem. He's got 1 rocket left. 15 seconds and a brilliant rail from DaHanG too. Mega is going to spawn before this. He's got to deal with Dooi. He's close by, but the support network there for DaHanG&Rapha and Dooi keeping that lead alive. They need 10 kills to stay in this. Dual wield up, but a massive direct rocket from Rapha, and he is also going to be able to take down Dooi. That's going to be quad for them. They're 4 frags behind. Maestro are not in the clear.
Absolutely not. Now Rapha's got a decent stack. He can go anywhere we like. Feel free to get something, but nice try by Vod to actually at least decrease Rapha's stat to make him feel a little bit cautious on certain situations, which you can actually see now. And he's trying to find something, but Sophie's had no kills. Maybe 1, which he gets with that quad, but so far, great job by the Maestro guys to keep him at bay.
No, seriously good from them. Quad's now run out. The danger has been averted, but DaHanG&Rapha goes in for a 1 versus 2. Rapha's got the next heavy. Dooi's been found. There's 1 frag behind. It's falling apart a little bit for Maestro. They've got to be able to come back a little bit. DaHanG&Rapha goes for the dual wield. Rapha intelligently decides to disengage from that fight.
I'm getting a bit worried now. I'm hoping they don't lose consistency so late into the game, and also maybe even ruin Zoot's prediction the final thing of the day. But
that's not important anymore. it's all about what can Myztro do right now. DaHanG&Rapha does get 1 kill. DaHanG, though, on the trade with 42 for 42.
This is exactly the match of winning it, and it's also quite good for any team watching this back, because they may even see it as though Liquid aren't, probably say Awoku's not their best map entirely. So this will give some people not just the stats and everything like that, but potential map picks for the future for when they actually play Liquid. But so far, I think it's 45 to 43 now in favour of Maestro, so this is the perfect opportunity for him to close this map out. But remember that protection's going up in 20 seconds, and this could be their time. Now with Dooi with that heavy as well.
I'll call it maybe a mistake from DaHanG before. He had the wrong weapons out. Dooi&GaRpY, they're starting to build a little momentum right now. Rapha can't really make mistakes, nor can DaHanG. DaHanG gets one of the kills. He's got dual wheeled out on the machine gun. Protection is now there. And now all of a sudden, Rapha and DaHanG, they need to minimize what's going on to them. Doi's backed off, so GaRpY was on his own in a 1 versus 2 just then. This heavy's going to spawn in a second. And interestingly enough, we've got Rapha and DaHanG on the other side of the map. If they spot GaRpY alone, they're going to go for him. DaHanG just pins Dooi up, wasting a couple more seconds. Rapha runs into one of them. He does die. 2 frags needed from Myztro.
He did that before in a previous series, if I remember, with that quad damage, as you remember rightly. And it seems like he's done it again, but I think it was more focused on making sure he was safely stacked rather than given protection. I think he was just a little bit worried considering how close he's at the game now. So it's 48 to 45 in favour of Maestro. And as you can see, Rapha is not in a good state at the moment. He's
so
trying
weak
to hang that heavy, and he's trying to get away, but just manages to. And he's using that piercing side, not to find out where Maestro are, but also just to make sure that he can at least go in a safe spots, and that worked. 46 so.
He got a good flank just then. He took a risk going in for that fight. He's just taken Mega. The way they're just able to hold the timing through all of this chaos and all of the difficult situations they're putting themselves through. GaRpY's managed to take out DaHanG. He's got the respawn. I'm going to quickly look over at GaRpY. Here's hit another rail. That player is so weak. Going in for the dual-wheel shotgun. This is the map for Maestro.
Wow.
They're on the board.
And it was us thinking that Liquid would actually take that. So I was a bit worried because, yeah, sure, there's been a couple of times where Maestro took the lead in the past. But then we saw that their stamina and their consistency would just drop straight away. But fantastic showing by Maestro, showing that, you know what, Liquid aren't unbeatable.
No, exactly. They've managed to get the Galena BJ combo to work out fantastically. Extremely close at the end. They managed to have it 10+ frags of difference at one point, but to hold it to the end and to stay mentally strong and not give it up, that's a good sign for them. And a good sign for us because we get at least another map. Yeah, well, at least one more no matter what. So, and it's going to make him question now. Liquid's going to be like, gosh, we lost our first map in the last couple of months in the in the Go4 series. So, but it's like I said before, they're very high skilled players. They've been around for years and years, and they've got to a point where they'll just go, well, you know what, just shake it off. Maybe West wasn't their best pick. This isn't going to suddenly rattle them and it be the beginning of the end for the Liquid guys. I think they're still going to be fine, but, you know, we'll see, because this is the type of results that you need to see from players challenging them, starting to pick up the maps. You know, who knows? Maybe we are going to get the next map going into GaRpY and Doi's favor, and then all of a sudden you got tiebreaker. And it's going to be quite funny as well, because a lot of his NA teams are going to watch this back and go, we're just going to first pick Awoken every time. But it doesn't mean it is their worst map. Maybe they were just very unfortunate in a lot of situations, because you saw towards the end they were playing quite well. You know, they had Maestro did have that protection. They were still going toe-to-toe with him, but it just wasn't to be. So I think there was just some very, very minor areas which could have gone absolutely either way. Yeah. And as you can see now, we've already had Sarnif, Blood Covenant, and Awoken, but next will be Corrupted Keep. And you remember what happened last time. Even though that caliber of the last team wasn't as good as the Myztro squad, but do you see a potential similar outcome? Actually, possibly, because Rapha and DaHanG are so used to playing that map with Strog and Pika on DaHanG, and now they're not going to be able to play that, so due to the little sort of in-house rules, you can almost call it. So I'm super curious how that's going to pan out. I suspect we're going to be getting Galenas and BJs quite possibly. On this size of map, you maybe don't want to go with Visor as much because you kind of know where people are coming from. But Visor's always a possibility, and it's always valid on any map you go on. Let's find out now, though. We are in map 4. We're going to have exactly that, though. Galena and BJs for both teams. Yeah, it seems like Rapha switched to Galena. DaHanG going back to BJ anyway, but he is trying to back up as much as possible. We put that term there just to at least keep him away from whilst he's getting rockets, but DaHanG managed to clean up Dooi anyway. And it seems like now, as you can see, a bit of a stalemate situation, very early days, but Maestro have got a slight lead over Liquid at the moment, and we've got that heavy coming up. For the guys on Liquid, I think one of them did actually eventually pick up, but Doi's got that Mega, so
looking like another good start for Maestro here.
Yeah, definitely. We see a heavy armored DaHanG though using dual wield, and all of a sudden DaHanG doesn't really want to go in that fight. A rocket at the end is brilliant from him. He gets the mutual as well with Rapha. Oh no, he doesn't. Sorry, Rapha gets that one cleanly. And
you saw there GaRpY again trading out. The trading is a lot better this map and the last map compared to before. I know it's very early, but as you can see, they're a lot more, not just together, but they're flanking in sync. They seem to be working on a few issues. They also spoke about the first two maps. They also realized that there was a few major issues in their gameplay and their playstyle, which obviously cost them those first two maps in such convincing fashion in favor of Liquid. But look at this now. GaRpY managed to clean up both of these players now, 8-4. With that quad coming up in the next 30 seconds.
Yeah, really, really nice from Myztro. I think they're finding it easier to get those refracts happening on a smaller map because it's faster to go and support your teammate. You don't have to go from too many corners. And as I said, this whole buddy system works out way nicer for them. GaRpY goes down. Rapha is kind of weak, and there's a little bit of starting shotgun, it looks like, from the outskirts. Maestro have made their way over to the heavy, which is going to be the next big item that spawns.
The question is, sorry, I was going to say, who's going to get this quad? Maestro going to get this quad and basically increase their lead? Or is Liquid going to get it and actually close the gap? And it seems like, I think, yeah, Rapha now has picked up the quad, but what can he do with it? It's been cleaned up almost entirely. He managed to get the heavy, but will he be able to do anything with his quad?
Yeah, DaHanG's sticking by him. In case this quad happens to drop, he's going to support him all the way. He's even watching out going over towards those health bubbles because he knows there's some spam that's possible. But they were a few frags behind. They look like they are about to tie it up. It's a 9 for 10. Bit of extra healing for Rapha. That's the #1 totem dropped. He's not able to really get those flaming totems quite as comfortably as he'd like yet.
That was very unfortunate, considering how much of a great start Maestro even had at the beginning. But now, thanks to that getting that quad by Rapha, managed to tie things up. And now, Maestro are not in a very good spot. You saw DaHanG managed to clean up, and now one of the Maestro guys are stuck on LG. Not very good stat, but Dooi managed to clean up DaHanG anyway, so not too bad from him.
Yeah, GaRpY's got the refrag once more. We've got totem down from Dooi. Heals absolutely necessary. He's going to be able to find Rapha. There's a 1v1 going on that side. Almost takes it down. Now to help out GaRpY a bit, that totem didn't go off. DaHanG survived through it, and now GaRpY is looking to take heavy. His stack is solid. Dooi's also found DaHanG too, so they're going to be able to continue having a lead for a moment.
They're in a perfect predicament at the moment. They managed to take the lead now up to 2 kills in favor of Maestro, and right now still GaRpY with a very decent, healthy stack. And was going to try and help Dooi, but he's in a 1v1 himself. DaHanG does take out Dooi, but GaRpY does manage to take out Rapha, but Dooi knows that his stack was still pretty good, so he probably will be keeping away from that one and trying to get that heavy, which comes up in the next second.
Oh, DaHanG suffered just then. That was pretty nuts, actually. Oh, GaRpY under pressure. He's got the dual wield out. Should be able to get rid of Rapha without any problems, but so much damage from above. I think that might have been dual wield by DaHanG with the machine gun. Let's go over to him. Yeah, his ability went down recently, so that extra damage output came from somewhere.
I didn't think I was actually going to say this in this series, but I'm actually a bit worried for Liquid because they've had the quad, they've got the protection, yet still they're behind Maestro as a whole, so it makes you wonder, well, are Liquid kind of struggling a little bit here, would you say?
A little bit. I think they're not feeling quite as comfortable with this kind of pace of map because it is a lot faster, and as I mentioned before, it's easier for those refrags to come in for the enemy as long as they are playing tight together. And maybe even that Strog Pika being removed, because that's something they've played on almost all corrupted keeps competitively. And it's not something they've really been able to do now.
And it just shows that when you're out of your comfort zone, these things can happen. And with those champion bans, it's obviously made a huge impact. But it seems like now, Liquid are getting into the swing of things.
Yes.
This corrupted keep is one of those maps where, you know, scorelines can change dramatically over the course of like just a few minutes here and there. And you saw earlier that Maestro were up by 5, but now down by 3. And still, the quad's not going to be up for quite a while. But again, when that comes up, that's going to probably change that pace of the game and potentially determine exactly what's going to happen in terms of lead or closing out the kill deficit.
Well, Rapha with a large stack. Totem down. Teammates walk through. Dooi does manage to clear that totem first. The thing is, it is going to be a 2-for-0 in the end. Liquid starting to pull away, quite possibly. Who's got something to say about it, however. 15 seconds, and you know what it's time for?
The zoo cam. no better day than a zoo cam. But we're trying to find out exactly what's got. Rapha does taken out one, so he won't be getting this thing completely free, but GaRpY does come from behind. Managed to take out one, and GaRpY's got the quad now. So this could be different for the guys at Maestro. They could actually make this comeback or even overtake with this lead, especially the predicament Liquid are in. They're both right next to each other, and now they know that he's at the LG, trying to at least try and get a pick. And what a frag by GaRpY right there. Managed to tie things up 24-24 now.
Eat it.
And he's still got a little bit of quad left.
He might be able to get himself a little bit more. A little bit of a lead. Does step on a totem a bit, but quad's about to fade away. And he's not going to get any other 400 damage direct rockets.
That was unbelievable. It's one of those situations where when you're on LG and you sit there and you've run out of MG ammo or you've only got rockets, you just think, yeah, I think I'm wasting my time. I'm just going to go for someone else. But I think even as he was thinking to himself, yeah, you know, I did it right there, you know?
Well, it's 26-26, so it's certainly being kept close. Don't know what happened on map 1 and 2, but map 3 and 4 have been an absolute joy so far. We've got a small lead, but you know what? It doesn't make any difference right now. Not until we start seeing some momentum being built by either of these teams. GaRpY brings it right back, 28-28. And now back the lead for Team Liquid. That
was a shame by Rapha. His LG was so solid, but with his poor strafing at the time, GaRpY must have capitalized with his nail gun. And at the moment, Rapha's waiting for it to go through, which he does. Managed to take out Dooi, but GaRpY now, he is trying to get away, trying to at least get back with his teammate, but literally just managed to get away on 21 HP, but there's another person waiting for him, but he was also weak, and Dooi managed to finish off Rapha at the time. I think both players from opposite teams were right near each other, but managed to both get away, both when they were actually weak. So at the moment, again, 31 favor and 5 of Maestro again.
Oh, who can take this one? DaHanG gets it, and it's going to be another trade. This time, it's Liquid that get back into the lead. And we've got the power up in a second. There's a lot of damage onto Rapha, but DaHanG comes in at the last moment, saving the day. But they still get the frag onto Rapha. DaHanG's not super stacked. Oh, did he get knocked out? Oh my god. They're going with the rockets on him again, though. They should switch target over to Rapha. They'll have an easier time against him. And look at a brilliant rocket jump from DaHanG. And maybe that kind of overconfidence to go for the protection player when you had someone without it behind you, that could end up biting them in the backside.
I was clenching on my seat when he was about to jump off of that protection, and I was just like, there's not a time or a place to actually do it now. But so far, that protection has helped them increase their lead a little bit now and change things up. So it's now 37 and 33 in favor of Team Liquid. And it seems like now they really are showing what they did in the previous series. So I'm trying to figure out now how Maestro can actually come back from this, because the quad's not coming out for a good while, for at least a minute. And it seems like the Liquid guys now are just on form and just feeling like not just the chemistry, but the pace is very in sync with each other.
Yeah, and I think we just saw DaHanG being able to pick, Rapha picking up the heavy armor. I believe they were taking the last Omega too. Again, a war of attrition. Pick up those resources. It's going to help you so much. Dooi does get a totem frag onto Rapha. This is it. They cannot leak kills the way they've been the last sort of 40 seconds for much longer. We're seeing almost a 10 frag advantage. DaHanG&Rapha trying to put a stop to all of this incredible play we've seen from Myztro in the last map and a half.
They've been playing fantastic the entire map throughout the whole time, but now sadly that consistency is just wearing off. But that quad is coming back in the next 15 seconds. So the only possible way, especially on the map like this, for Maestro is to get that quad. But so far now, they're nowhere to be seen, and they will try and contest it, but at what cost?
Or just get a direct. If he can hold on to this, he's going to get himself quad. He can't quite pick up the rocket kill. So Rapha ends up suiciding. Only 3 more required from Liquid. There you go. There's some revenge right there. There's the direct, the long-range quad direct for you.
Did it to me earlier? Well, you can have mine back. And now, as you can see, 48-37. Maestro got a huge feat, huge boots to fill, shall I say. And now there's only 1 kill left. That quad will be taken out. Dooi does suicide, but again, there's not really much they can do in this predicament.
Rapha might be weak over there. I'm watching DaHanG chase in. He gets the lightning gun kill in the end. He is going to secure Liquid, the Go4 Quake champions, 2v2 NA title. And we see, although Maestro did get the EU side, they can't do it on NA.
And that was just a fantastic series over.